This is the Build Right podcast, where business and construction come together. Each week, we talk with builders and industry leaders about what it really takes to run a world-class construction company. If you're ready to build better and lead smarter, you're in the right place. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Scott Raffensperger. With me today is Chris Farrell from Vanguard Fine and Companies, correct?
Commercial real estate.
Commercial real estate. Say hi, Chris.
Hi. How are you, Scott?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted just to show you this first. There's a soccer stadium that's going to be going in Albany. Have you seen this?
I have, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Is it going to go through?
You know, I think it really depends on the overall market of Albany. I mean, Albany has an okay track record with professional teams.
By okay, do you mean horrible?
Well, no, I mean, we just have a hard time supporting what we already have. So it's hard to imagine that we can add another sporting event. But, you know, soccer is really huge in the Capital District. So, you know, I think that the fan base is going to be there. It's just, can they get the financing and can they get all the pieces together to actually make this thing come to fruition? Yeah.
I think it'd be a great addition to Albany.
Oh, I think it would be awesome. I mean, it would really drive traffic downtown. I mean, that's what Albany needs. Albany needs more traffic, more people to be shopping in the local shops. They need people going into the restaurants, really supporting downtown. I mean, Albany is the capital of the New York State and not New York City.
Yeah, that is true. I think the biggest challenges for them is going to be acquisition of those properties and getting people on board with kind of that regentrification to make the space for that stadium and the shopping centers they want around it, which would be epic, but
I mean, you when you think of downtown Albany, you think of it's hard to park. You think it's hard to find places to go to. You know, I think that if they really fix parking at the parking aspect of downtown, I think if they really focus on who they bring in, I think they can make it work.
Yeah. My wife and I met a couple of friends down at Wellington's, and then we went to the Shane Gillis show. This was like a month ago, which was awesome, by the way. And it was at the Pepsi or the MVP, Knickerbocker Arena, whatever the heck it's called now. I think it was sold out, which is not, for Albany, that's big. It was, what's it hold, like 30,000 people? But it took, dude, hours to get out of there. Like the way that the traffic is designed around that is horrible.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, they really have to fix parking. They have to fix traffic flow. But is it doable? 100%. And I hope that if it does come to fruition, that there's a fan base to really support it. I mean, you have now the New York Phoenix, you have the Albany Fire Wolves, you have the Albany Fire Birds. I mean, Do
you think it'll hurt that MVP?
I don't think so. I think it will do nothing else but kind of support the MVP. I think it will any traffic, any flow of traffic into a municipality, into a market is good traffic. People see new restaurants, they see new businesses, and that's right. What you need to survive is you need visibility. And the more people they get downtown, I can't see how it could hurt.
Yeah. That's a good point. I'm a Philly sports fan, and where all of their stadiums are located, it's like a centralized location. It's almost in the same parking lot, and they've got the Link, they have the hockey stadium for the Flyers, the Philly stadium, the Sixers. It's all right there, and it does support each other. You're right.
It's the spoken hub concept where you put the entertainment and the draw right in the middle of downtown. That way, that's where everybody comes, and then the traffic goes out from there. If you have everything come into one and there's only one way out, it creates that traffic jam, which everybody that's ever parked at the MVP parking garage, when it's been a big show or a big event, you have trouble getting out because there's two ways out, maybe one, depending on traffic.
Yeah, they push it all to 787.
Yep.
Or you can go up Western.
Yeah.
Those are two very shitty options, really.
And now you have a speed limit of 25 in the city.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. We got to get into the show, but I thought this was an interesting bit in the Albany Business Review. I wanted to touch base with you on it. I hope it go. I really do hope it works out.
I would love to go downtown and watch soccer. I mean, we were talking before the show. I mean, I'm coaching my daughter's soccer team right now. Having some kind of professional soccer team to go watch, to show her and show them how you actually play the game, I think it's huge. It's huge for the Capital District.
What do you think the time frame is? Knowing how long projects take in this area?
I mean, from development to grand opening, you're probably talking 2 years, and that's not including approvals. I mean, it's going to be a relatively large stadium. The infrastructure has to get there. They have to build everything up around it.
I bet you're 10 plus.
10 years, you think?
I bet you're 10 plus.
Well, maybe with approvals, acquisition and approvals of the project. Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Where do you know where it's supposed to go?
I'll be almost 50 then.
You look 50 now. Do you know where it's supposed to go?
Yeah, it's supposed to go down by where the bus garage is. That area down there.
Near the what is it, Greyhound or
yeah,
Coke?
the Greyhound bus station.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Well, anyways, dude, let's get on with the show. Tell everybody who you are, what you do.
My name is Chris Farrell. I'm a commercial real estate broker, associate broker with Vanguard Fine Commercial Real Estate. We're a small boutique firm, cover the entire state of New York. We cover some of Western Mass. We cover the state of Vermont, even a little bit of Northern Pennsylvania and a little bit of Western Connecticut, depending on what tenant we're running with. We are primarily, we do a lot of landlord representation as well as tenant rep. Right now I'm kind of in a
What do you mean tenant rep?
So basically we get contracted or asked by a national real estate company such as, I represent Aldi supermarkets for their excess real estate property within the entire state of New York.
So like you're talking a large scale then. You're representing Aldi's. You're not representing, Joe Schmo's little construction company, or you're
Oh, I mean, it really depends on who the tenant is. I mean, I represent small businesses. I represent large businesses.
Okay.
I don't really, I love working with startup businesses because it's fun to watch a business go from nothing and then 5 years later work on their lease renewal because they made it. I mean, if you're in business for 5 years and you're a startup, you're doing good. You're doing something right. Most businesses fail within the first or second year. Mm-hmm. It's hard to be in business.
Mm-hmm. So I interrupted you there. Sorry. So you do commercial real estate. You're with Vanguard Fine.
Yep.
You specialize in
retail. That's primarily what I focus on. I mean, I've done some office deals. I've done some warehouse deals in my my career. Office and warehouse, they're not easy. There is no such thing as an easy real estate deal. My job is to get a landlord that wants the most amount of money and the tenant that wants to pay the least amount of money to somehow figure out how to find that middle ground where landlord feels like he's being compensated fairly for his property and the tenant feels like they're paying a fair rate for that space. So I'm that middleman that's trying to make two people that want different things come together and find a meeting of the minds.
What percentage of your business is the rental versus purchase?
It's hard to put a percentage on it. I probably deal with 70%, maybe 80% leases, 20% sales. Sales are fun, but sales take a long time. An easy sale still can take in upwards to a year, especially if there's development involved because you got to get municipal approvals. you have to get you have to build it and then close.
So where did you start? Well, you went to Siena College, correct?
Yes, going to be Siena University pretty soon. We're going to be matching UAlbany.
Really? Why?
Siena decided that they wanted to go and be a university. They are they're now holding those graduate classes, so it's a different way to distinguish from a college of undergrad to a university that offers that post-grad experience.
Cool. So what'd you study at Siena?
Marketing, communications.
There?
Graduated in 2008. From there, I did a short stint in IT sales. Turns out I'm not very good with understanding how a computer works, which is great because I like to drive a car and and go around the state of New York and look at pieces of dirt that could be something one day.
Well, hopefully you drive a car better than you drive a golf ball, but go ahead. Keep going.
No.
I'm saying that because I know you're an avid golfer, and that's one of the things that you do to clear your mind.
And you're an avid golfer as well.
Not as much as you. Once a week is not avid in my book. But, all right, so did you get right into commercial real estate after?
No, so I did a short stint in IT sales, and then from there I went to Robinson Hardware full time. I did commercial sales for them. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. You and I both know Judd Robinson. I worked there for about a year and a half, and then I just wanted more. So I was and kind of went out looking for different opportunities. My parents' neighbor across the street was a real estate broker with Vanguard Fine. My sister's best friend was his partner, and that's Ken Brownell and Barry Feynman. And, I sat down with them, had a conversation. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. And the rest is history. I've been with them ever since. It's been about 13, maybe 14 years at this point. Mm-hmm. But I mean, these two guys have
Has it really been 14 years?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're old. We're getting there.
You are old. You are old.
Yes, the gray hair. I keep having to go shorter with the haircut so you don't see as much gray. But yeah, so I got hooked up with them. We've been doing it ever since, and it's fun. Every day is different. Every deal is different. Every tenant has different requirements. So I'm constantly having to learn new skills. I'm constantly having to understand people's businesses, because in order to put a business in a location, and you have to be able to almost be a business advisor and say, hey, you need X, Y, Z, and you need this type of tenant mix to bring people to your business. So you have to understand somebody's business in order to find a great location for them. And the old adage, location, 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 is just as true today as it was 100 years ago.
Was there a language barrier per se between you and business owners when you're trying to talk to them and advise them and you're just getting into this?
With brand new tenants, people that have not done real estate before, have ever done a location before, yeah, there's some terminologies that I use that I don't even think about anymore. Something like triple net or CAM charges. Triple net is just all it means is extra rent in terms of taxes, insurance, and common maintenance charges, and that's what CAM means. It's common maintenance charges.
Well, not only as far as terms used, but like if you're dealing with a client that has been in business for 30 years, and then you've been in commercial real estate for 2 years, and you're trying to tell him what is going to be best for his business, how does that go over?
Well, that's why when I first started, Barry or Ken or Paul or Steve in my office, I mean, they partner up. Our firm is a firm believer that every listing and every tenant should have at least 2 people working on it. Because, if somebody can't get a hold of me, they can get a hold of my listing partner or vice versa. And, being young in the business, I mean, I'm 39. I'm still a young person in this business. The average age, when you look at the real estate brokers in the area, average age of the commercial guys is probably somewhere mid to higher 40s. That could be generous. Sorry to my colleagues.
I have a theory as to why that is.
Yeah, because age and wisdom go hand in hand. The older you are, the more experience you have, the more you've seen. And with that, people trust older people because, they've seen everything, or in people's mind, they've seen everything. I've seen people go into real estate and come out of it, and go in it and go out of it.
Yeah.
And you need a lot of life experience to overcome a lot of the obstacles that persist and are constantly in this industry. There is one of the brokers in my office has a saying, every deal is an ordeal. It's true. There's no easy deal. Maybe 40 years ago, there was easy deals. You didn't have to worry about environmental. You didn't have to worry about whether or not a site is clean, not clean. You didn't have to worry about all of the zoning laws. There's so many regulations out there right now. Every deal is hard. And as a real estate broker that is constantly in it, looking at it every day, it's definitely a barrier to development. But at the same time, you need regulation because you can't have the Taj Mahal on every corner.
So commercial real estate, to be fair, is a whole nother animal than residential. And it's an industry that a lot of people don't know exists unless they're generally a business owner, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. People know that I do commercial real estate, and they still come to me, oh, will you list my house?
Yeah.
And I look at them and say, absolutely not. That would be the biggest disservice to you as a friend. I would never sell your house. I have a Rolodex of residential agents that I trust implicitly, and I would be more than happy to refer it out to them. And sometimes I get a referral fee, sometimes I don't. That's not my primary business. My primary business is to understand what's going on in the commercial real estate market and how to overcome any potential obstacles that stand in the way of getting a deal finalized.
Where's Vanguard based out of?
We are at 1529 Western Avenue, right in the heart of Guilderland, in front of Stuyvesant Plaza.
Are they local only, or are they?
Oh no, we cover the entire state.
Okay.
I mean, and a little bit beyond. I just finished a deal, Ken Brownell in my office, and I just finished a deal in Vermont.
Okay.
So I mean, we can do deals anywhere.
Northeast.
Northeast.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be licensed in different states in order to do deals in different states, but you can work with other real estate brokers, and we have licenses all over the place.
How is the market around us for commercial versus other parts of the state? Is Albany pretty strong, or is it?
Albany tends to be strong. Our rents are not as high as some other areas in the state, but the biggest obstacle right now in the Albany market is the coming out of COVID has been the lack of development. There has not been a ton of new retail, and because of that, rents are creeping up, and there's not a lot of places to move people to.
Mm-hmm. Do you help people with the investment side of things?
Absolutely not.
No.
I try to stay right in my lane of advising you on why this location works well for your business, and I kind of help people with marketing as well because I went to school for it, and I have some knowledge about that.
Mm-hmm. I have a handful of agents that I really like, and you're probably the only commercial one, but the other ones are residential. And other than that, they frustrate me because I think a lot of them try to give you advice on real estate investing. Yeah. And just because you might be good at selling it doesn't mean you're a real estate investor.
No.
And if you were, then why are you selling real estate? Why aren't you investing real estate? Because I'm pretty sure that's a little more lucrative. that is a big frustration with me. So your answer is spot on because I was going to nail you if you said you did. But
Well, I mean, you and I have had these conversations for years. I mean, you have an entire spreadsheet that you use to analyze a piece of property, whether or not it's a good investment for you or not.
right.
I mean, not a lot of people have that, and that's awesome. I mean, I can give you an idea of, hey, this is a good area to invest in. It's always been strong. But I'm not going to advise you and say, hey, this is a great return on your cash or your investment. I'm going to leave that up to your financial advisor. I'm going to leave it up to your lender. There's a lot of factors that go into real estate.
And I think to use somebody like you to the fullest extent is smart. I know you get a percentage, which you should because you're doing the work, but you have access to a lot of information that I can't get, or if I can get it, it's going to take me a long time too. So, hey, what areas in the Capital District are getting the highest rents? What you've even given me business failure rates based on certain areas. Those are statistics and numbers that I couldn't do on my own.
Yeah, I mean, in the way that part of it is you have to be in the industry. You have to be talking to other commercial real estate brokers in the area. We have a great network in the area. It's called CIREB. It's the Commercial and Industrial Real Estate Brokers Incorporated. It is the local capital region, I'd say. I mean, properties anywhere in the state can go on it, but you have to be a member of this local organization. It's a great network of top performers in the area, and it's unique because we work together. We all work together. I mean, I had another broker call me yesterday and say, hey, I know you don't have any listings in this area, but do you know of anything that might be available? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a friend level. That's a, hey, can you help me out? And I mean, I racked my brain and I tried to come up with a couple ideas. I didn't come up with anything, but it just goes to show that CIREB is a great organization that we really try to work together. I mean, I have pretty
Is
much.
that like a CRBRA for builders? You know, do they do dinners and events?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We do
networking stuff?
Monthly networking marketing events where we get up and we say, hey, I have this brand new property. And we kind of talk to each other, figure out market trends with each other. Hey, I got this deal done. Hey, I got this deal done. Hey, what was your rent or what was your purchase price? We share all of that information because we know that by working together, we're going to be able to get more deals done.
And you're staying relevant.
And you're staying relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of in-office work, or are you on the road most of the time?
I'd say it's probably 80-20. I'm in the office 80% of the time and on the road 20% of the time. Mm-hmm. Tuesday, I'm going up to Potsdam, New York. It's like a 4 hour drive. But I go to my properties, take a look at them, take photos, give landlords ideas on what they can do to make the property more appealing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's probably 80-20, 80% in the office, 20% on the road.
Biggest deal to date?
Biggest deal to date. I'm actually working on them right now. Biggest deal to date. I'm now representing a company that does energy battery storage, and it's a very unique business. It's a very simple idea. It draws electric off of the grid during non-peak hours and puts electricity back on the grid when the grid requires more energy. Mm-hmm. And it's a cool concept, but I'm working on these deals right now. They're 25-year ground leases. They take forever to get approved just because there's a lot of layers of complexity to it.
So what's your involvement in that? Do you help them with the approvals?
So this tenant specifically, I don't think I'll be involved in the actual approval process. The first 12 to 18 months are spent on really designing the project to meet the specs of the utility company. And then after that, it goes to the municipality. And
so when you say you're working on the deal,
yep, I'm working on
what are you doing right now?
structuring the economics of the deal, structuring it, looking for locations that they can go.
So they're getting a project. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So they have a project, right? So say they want 10 battery banks. They design it, get it approved to go into town, or do you have to find the property for them first, and then they?
So that's the caveat. So we find the property first, and then after we find the property, we try to figure out what we can fit on it. But there needs to be capacity in the lines that are currently surrounding the property. If there's not capacity, the land may work, but you can't put the energy anywhere. So there needs to be capacity available to distribute the energy once it's collected. And then there also needs to be enough land that you can get the property, get enough energy stored that it makes sense to do the project.
It does. Is there any pushback from towns on this?
We have not even gotten that far yet. We are literally in the early stages of this where we're identifying properties, working with landowners to see if they're interested in this, and then from there talking about going to the utility company to see if the site's going to work for them.
So what do you need? Like 3-phase power, or what's the?
I don't get that technical. I identify a property, I send it to our rep. Our rep then takes it from there and does the analytics to find out if the property is going to work. And then if the property works, great. Then we start negotiating a deal. If the property doesn't work, on to the next one.
Have you done any with solar? This is similar, right?
It's very similar. My understanding is this technology came out of solar fields, because even sometimes the solar panels will collect energy, but there's nowhere for it to go. So they designed these batteries to collect that energy, and then when the energy needs to go somewhere, they disperse the energy from the battery. So they can work hand in hand, but the projects that I'm currently working on have no solar aspect to them at all. It's just battery storage.
I've seen some of these articles online about these storage banks, and they're about the size of like a pod,
like a shipping container.
Or shipping container.
And they're all enclosed. Could there be risk? Potentially, but these are designed and structured in a way that to minimize risk. I mean, they've really tried to minimize.
You're talking risk as far as like
fires and such. I mean, they have buffer zones around each of the battery banks. Every battery bank is enclosed in its own capsule. So God forbid the battery does explode or catch fire, it's contained in this pod.
It's so crazy the direction we're going with energy.
I mean, you can't have businesses without energy. So in a weird way, this is helping communities fight that aspect where they're not going to have potential brownouts or blackouts because you're going to have the capacity.
Do you know what the lifespan is on them?
So I believe it's 25 years. I believe that's why they have the leases go 25 years. The life capacity of these batteries is about 25 years.
Which is all a guess, pretty much.
Probably.
Then what? They recycle them?
Then they
bury them.
No, I don't think they're going to allow them to bury lithium batteries. But I think that they probably decommission them, and then I'm not sure if that anything has ever actually lasted 25 years yet. I don't think the technology's been out there.
Not to get too crazy and political, because we don't do politics on the show, but I feel like a lot of stuff on both sides is just shot from the hip. Like I would love to know. There's been studies on carbon footprint for making like battery powered cars, and they say that it evens out with the car over X amount of years, right? But like, what about the mining, and what about the D9 dozer that had to be manufactured, and the coal that went into the mill to rate the power to build the dozer, then all the diesel fuel it burns, all the steel, shipping the steel from China, like all of that combined. Are we coming out ahead?
I mean, I that's not my area of expertise.
No, mine neither. I mean, think about that when you see these projects.
But I guess if you think about it this way, is it better to try to do something now or just do nothing?
Right.
I mean, at least we're trying. And I think that's I give the people a lot of credit for trying. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with the philosophy. I think the carbon footprint that you just mentioned is totally accurate. I mean, you're burning coal to produce energy, and then you're storing the energy in a battery that you had to go out and mine minerals to put in the battery.
Yeah, where you've got 70 D9s burning 400 gallons of diesel fuel a day to dig this mine.
I would rather see somebody try to do something good and it fail than somebody to say, "Oh, we can't do that." Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But I think that the trying is a little bit clunky a lot of the times.
I also think there's people out there smarter than you and me.
I'm sure there is.
Maybe not you, but definitely me.
I was going to say the vice versa. But,
there's people out there that can help you with your golf game, though. A lot of people. I'm one of them.
That's for sure. For sure. That's pretty interesting with that market turn that you're saying with the batteries.
Yeah, I think you're going to start seeing a lot more of these projects come online within probably the next 2, 3, 4 years. And
but also the ripple effect of how that's now giving you guys business and in a new manner. It's basically creating its own market. I mean,
this is a market that I never thought I was going to be part of. I never in a million years thought that I was going to be looking for a piece of land to put a battery on it. Mm-hmm. I mean, and location does not apply to this. It could be out in the middle of nowhere, which is cool. I mean, it gives a landowner money for a piece of property that otherwise might not have as much value. But because they're in an area that there's capacity available on the lines, you can do something with the property and monetize it.
It was pretty neat. We go to Vegas every year for the Builder Show. You go out there too.
Yeah, for ICSC.
Yeah, and Kristen and I took a drive to go check out some national parks for a day and get the heck out of the hustle bustle. And we drove through solar fields. You could see them flying in.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this is a place that makes sense, Oh,
it's the sun's all the time. Unlike here in upstate New York, where it rains every Saturday and Sunday.
But you couldn't see them. Yeah, true. You couldn't see them from even the hotels or the streets or wherever you were staying because they put them in dips in the landscape. Those fields, it made sense.
It's super smart, and Vegas draws a ton of electricity.
I can only imagine.
I mean, it makes sense to use some kind of renewable energy in order to supply the need.
Yeah, the bottom line with this stuff, though, is I don't think it's ever going to take unless it makes sense monetarily.
Yeah.
That's the harsh truth.
Yeah. It's got to make sense monetarily, short term and long term.
Both, yeah. 100%. Well, that's a good example of how the market's changing.
Yep.
Right? But how in the past 5 years, how else have you seen it change?
COVID completely changed the industry. It changed my entire sales cycle. I mean, I used to be relatively busy from like September, maybe even end of August, all the way through, you got the holiday season. It's a little slow. And then you've got January, February, March. That used to be my busy season. And then more summertime, I was able to go play golf. It's kind of flipped over a little bit. My busier season is definitely spring, early summer, high summer. It kind of slows down a little bit. And then it goes back into that like September, October, back to school. People are out of their house looking to do something again.
Mm-hmm. Do you just mention golf again? Do you use that a lot in business? Do you take people golfing?
I do.
Yeah.
It's being a single-digit handicap has its perks.
Oh, yeah, right, dude. You had to drop that on there.
I had to drop it.
I've seen you play.
And I've seen you play.
The difference is I can get in your head. That's what does it.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, I mean, I'm sure the camera adds 10 pounds, but I outdrive him constantly.
Golf is, and I've said this before, is a perfect example how athletic ability has nothing to do with how well you play.
I mean,
current economic conditions.
Yep.
The market's shifting a little bit. Interest rates are raising. You guys seeing more challenges? You have to kind of tighten up a little bit on your deals to make them more advantageous for buyers or for tenants. How do you do it?
What we're looking at now is the cap rates or the investment rate per se is a big determining factor as to the viability of a deal. When interest rates were 2, 3, even 4%, you were looking at deals that it was a little bit harder to make a deal. A cap rate is ultimately a capitalization rate on the deal. So if it's a 6 cap, you're making 6% on the deal. Now there's other factors and variables, how much cash and cash on cash, and but the most simplest form is it's what kind of a return rate you're going to get. You're going to get a 6%, a 7%. The elusive 12 and 14% are the ones that you look for, right?
Those are the very risky ones.
Yeah. So the higher the cap rate, the more risky the investment is. The lower, the more stable of an investment it's going to be. So you have Starbucks and Chick-fil-A's. They have a lower cap rate. They're a credit tenant. They have strong financial backing. They're probably not going to go belly up. Where maybe you have a strip center with all local tenants. They all have 2 years.
Strip club or
a strip center.
Oh, strip mall. Okay, gotcha. I was going to say, I've never invested in one of those. I would opposed to it, but all right.
Well, Kristen may not like it, but you've got a strip center that's all local tenants. They've got 2-year leases. Every 2 years, people are moving in and out. There's a lot of work that goes into that. But if you can keep it full, and maybe you can make a 10 or 12% rate of return on it, maybe.
Do you think people are looking at properties differently now with the higher interest rates in relation to cap rates, or is the price of the property adjusting? So interest is going up, the property price is going down.
Well, right now, what you got to look at is if I put my money in the bank, or I put my money in a relative safe investment, like a CD or something.
Money market, something, yeah.
I mean, right now you can go to a money market in a high yield savings account and get 4.5%, 5% on your money. Why am I going to invest my money in real estate or anything to get a 3% return or a 4% return? It doesn't make sense. So people are evaluating.
Appreciation.
What's that?
Appreciation. That's why.
Appreciation, but it depends on how much cash you have available to put into the investment as well. Mm-hmm. So that there's so many factors that go into real estate investment. And it's not my forte. I'm not I can help people find a good deal. But right now it's hard to find good deals because the interest rates are high, cap rates are a little bit lower.
Mm-hmm. Do you see in different parts of the state certain markets thrive more? For example, Albany, maybe office, Syracuse, maybe garage storage, that type of distinction.
Albany has Albany, Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse. I mean, they all have a state workforce in them. Albany, probably one of the largest in the area. We in the Albany market are lucky because we are going to have stable consumers. Most of the state workforce, they're not getting laid off. They have a very stable job. So there's going to always be, I don't want to say excess income or disposable income, but there's going to be a market that you can go after. Mm-hmm. Where maybe if you're in New York City or you are in Westchester, or the incomes are certainly higher, but that job stability is not there. So when Albany does not go super high and it doesn't go super low, kind of stays at this middle. There's ups and downs, don't get me wrong, but it does not, like, there's other parts of the state where if we go into an economic downturn nationwide, they're going to be destroyed. Albany is going to be relatively stable because we have that.
Do you have any examples of areas in the state that you could see that happening?
Any area of the state that thrives on strictly manufacturing, any area of the state that would thrive in anything that's not a stable economic situation. So if you don't have a government workforce, if you don't have workforces that are always going to need a supply and demand, they're going to be more susceptible to really low lows or really high highs.
Yeah. Interesting. What are some trends you're seeing in the commercial industry?
Right now, it was funny. So you and I were just talking about going to Vegas. So I just got back from Vegas a couple weeks ago. I was at the ICSC, which is the International Shopping Center Council. And it's an organization that brings together brokers, developers, and tenants, national tenants and international tenants from around the world. We all gather in Las Vegas. I saw a lot of new restaurants popping up. Smaller restaurants, they need 1,500 to 2,000 square feet.
Like more mom pa shops? Or?
No, not mom and pop. These are nationals, but they're franchise driven. So I mean, they need a local franchisee in order to have the store come here. But I'm seeing a lot of new concepts come about. Pickleball. Oh my God. There's like 3 or 4 now national pickleball companies. I'm seeing people right now getting into business for the first time. They're brand new startups. I've been working with a couple new startups right now, and it's fun working with startups. Like I said earlier.
Do you think that's your personal business portfolio evolving with Vanguard, or is that just a shift in the way people are going about their careers now instead of working for someone else?
I think part of it is people want to be their own boss, and there's an idea out there that going into business is easy.
False.
It's very false. But I can tell right when I meet you whether or not you're going to be a successful business or you're not going to be successful. And I talk to people about it. I say, what's your business background? What have you ever run a business before? And I think there's a population out there that they could be really great business owners. But as you know, taking that first step to do it is hard. It's very hard. You're venturing into in the unknown. You don't know whether or not you're going to be successful. You don't know where your next paycheck's going to be. And you have to be okay with that, because you have to have enough confidence in yourself that you're going to be able to jump off that ledge and there's going to be a landing. Mm-hmm. You might fall for a little bit, but there will be a landing.
What do you do to help some of these startups or younger companies mitigate the risk in getting into a long-term lease or kind of a shitty situation? If they go belly up, what securities are there for them? Do you guys do any?
So most landlords in the Capital District right now are going to look for a personal guarantee from a startup. So that means they're going to look for a personal financial statement. You're going to have some money. You're going to have to own a house. You're going to have to own cars. You're going to have cash. You're going to have some kind of collateral for the worst case scenario, you don't make it. What I typically do when I see a startup company coming in, I am very upfront with that. I say, listen, you're going to need to basically put your house on the line. I would highly recommend you don't sign a 10-year lease. I'd highly recommend you look for a 3 to 5 year lease to mitigate your risk. And sometimes that's enough to scare somebody that's not going to be able to do it. The people that are like, nope, I totally understand. The landlord needs to make money too. Those are the people that get it.
Mm-hmm. Are there other commercial real estate companies in the area that you're in contention with, or are you guys pretty much the big player, so you're handling both sides of the transactions?
Most deals have a broker on both sides.
Okay.
Most of them.
So you're not able to go to the client and kind of talk back and forth and negotiate for a tenant is where I'm getting at. You've got to deal directly with the other broker.
Yeah, I would be dealing with the other broker. I mean, there are cases where there would be dual agency, and we're not going to get into all of that because it's complicated, but dual agency would be I represent the landlord and the tenant. As long as everybody is aware of that and it's in writing somewhere that I'm representing both sides, it's fine. But typically if I have a listing and you call me on my listing and say, hey, I see you have the listing, in that case, I'm representing the landlord when I'm talking to you. Mm-hmm. If you ask me, hey, can you help me out? Certainly. I just have to let the landlord know that I'm helping you as well. Most landlords are fine with it, and most tenants are okay with it as well. But going back to your other scenario, most of the time there is a broker on the landlord side and or the tenant side, and I get one side. Mm-hmm. And my fiduciary responsibility is to whomever I'm representing at that given time.
So somebody looking at commercial real estate right now, what are some of the most commonly overlooked costs or fees involved with a transaction that they can keep an eye out for?
I'd say construction costs. Construction costs keep going up and up and up and up. It's
for like fit outs?
For fit ups, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done one of my fit ups for me. You did the music studio.
Expressions, yeah.
Yeah, in Guilderland. It's hard for tenants to grasp, hey, this room, putting up sheetrock, putting up some paint, putting in electrical, lighting, flooring, it costs money. And some tenants think that that's the landlord's responsibility. The landlord's responsibility is to provide the space, and you make the space into your space. They're going to give you a bathroom. They're going to give you some ceiling. They're going to give you some lights. They'll give you walls. It's your responsibility to paint the walls or put up new walls.
Yeah, that's crazy. A lot of people don't realize the risk involved with that, because you're going into first off, the rent's not cheap because it's commercial.
Yeah.
But second, you've got to fit that space up. Mm-hmm. And once you leave, you don't get to take that with you.
No.
So you might put 40, 50, $100,000 into a fit up.
I mean, I've been working with some daycares recently. It's very, very expensive to put a daycare in. And if you're leasing the space, you are opening yourself up to a huge exposure because you're building out rooms, you're putting in bathrooms, you're saw cutting concrete floors, running plumbing. I mean, when I have a question about construction, we all know who I call.
How are your deals structured with leases? How do you make money on them?
So I get typically I get a percentage of the gross total of the lease. So you say it's a 10-year lease, you add up the entire lease and then I get a percentage of that.
On a monthly basis, yearly basis, or all up front?
It's a lump sum right up front.
Okay. Who pays for it?
The landlord. Landlord will typically pay for that. It's part of the cost of doing business. And, you know, I've run into scenarios where a landlord's like, wow, I can't believe I have to pay you this much money. Why is it this much money? And there's a lot of sayings you can use. And one of the favorite ones I've heard is, I didn't create the game, I just play it. Mm-hmm. Another one is, you have to pay for all the deals that didn't happen. I mean, in any given day, I'm working on 4, 5, 6, 10 deals. Of those 10 deals, maybe 9 of them don't go through. Mm-hmm. You have to have a lot of balls in the air in order to get ones that you can put cash in your pocket.
One of the fun things about commercial real estate is I think there's more flexibility too. Residential is very cut and dry. Yep. And you can move things around a little bit. But on the commercial end, and you and I have done this a few times, we're very creative in how we structure things.
You have to be creative. If you're not creative in making the deal work, like I said, you have 2 people that want 2 completely different things. The only thing that is common is the tenant wants a space and the landlord wants a tenant. Everything else has to be created from scratch. Mm-hmm. Everything's a negotiation, and everything is negotiable except taxes, insurance, and CAM charges.
Kind of flip a little bit here over to AI. I ask a lot of people on here how it's affecting their business.
I love it.
Are you guys using it a lot?
I use it every single day.
Yeah.
I use different forms of AI for everything that I do. You know, I
explain, going to depth a little bit on that, because most people just know of ChatGPT.
Yeah. So I've been kind of utilizing AI in different ways. I use a lot of ChatGPT.
Is it GPT? Is that how?
I don't know. I just go
CP. I'm not sure. I don't use it.
GPT. Yeah. So I use it every day, and I use it for writing. I use it for emails. There's a program that I am investigating right now to help me with scheduling. Like, just keep a generalized schedule. There's to-do lists that you can use that your AI will help you set the priorities on what you actually have to do and what can wait to the next day. It's really awesome. And
when did you first start using it?
I've been using AI for about 1.5 years.
That makes sense, because I've noticed like you've been getting less smart over the past year or so. I think it's replacing your brain power.
It is 100. So
I'm messing with you.
You know what's really funny? You can use ChatGPT and you can put an email in it that you wrote. We all know that you don't write very well. You can actually make you sound so much smarter. You can put it in there and say, make this sound legal and professional. And you put your email that you wrote, and it looks like somebody else wrote it. You just have to reformat it. Formatting is a problem with it, because when you take it and like drop it into an email, you're going to have like spacing issues and column issues.
So you're reading through it anyways and making sure it's edited.
And you know, when I first started using it, I was like, this is great. It makes me sound really, really smart. And the issue that I noticed is it kind of lost me. So, but the more you use it, the more you tell it, yes, I like that response. No, I don't like that response. It really helps you. And I do all social media marketing as well. I'm using it for that. It puts the emojis in. I don't have to do it.
How do you use it for your marketing?
So I will take I'll take a fact sheet that I created, and I'll download or I'll upload the fact sheet into the AI, and I'll say, make me a marketing blurb or make me a marketing paragraph using lots of emojis. Make it fun, make it exciting, make it whatever. It's all about the prompts that you give the AI. And you hit go, and it will pop up with a couple options or one option. And it's great. And it will give you, like I said, the emojis. I hate going through and figuring out a little house emoji or a little fire emoji. It does it for you. As long as you're giving it information, junk in, it will give you junk out. If you put in good quality stuff, it will give you good quality stuff on the back end. But I can really foresee, I mean, one of my marketing programs that I use to make my fact sheets, they've already integrated an AI component in it. You literally can hit the generate paragraph, and it will do a quick Google analysis of the location that the property's in and write a little paragraph about it.
Really?
It's not perfect, but to get something out there, it works.
You still got to put some work into it.
Yes.
It's not just going to give you
No.
answers for nothing. One space I think it's going to take over in the construction industry is the estimation. And I was messing with it the other day. I don't really use it because I don't like the way that it writes. I feel like it sounds almost robotic if ever I've asked it to do something. But I did put in a set of house plans the other day to compare. So I did a takeoff for a job, and I wanted to see if it could match it.
Yeah.
It was fucking way off, dude.
Oh, what?
It was way off.
Well, this is
and
the
it
thing.
misses a lot. So I started adding things though, because it was asking like, "Hey, what about this? What about this?" And so we put it in, and it was still it's not there yet.
It's not, but it like I said, it's actually learning every time you give it another prompt. It's actually learning from what you're giving it, and because I'm special, I pay for it now because I use it so often, and I've noticed that since I've paid for it, it stops using words like realm and mystical and like weird robotic words.
So how much do you pay?
I think it's like $20 a month. It's not a lot of money. And
how often do you have to use it to get to that? Like, do you only get a certain number of uses a day?
No. Once you start...
Before that, I mean.
Before that, yeah, it will give you a certain amount of prompts. It's still learning from you as long as you have an account. The free account, it still learns. But when you pay, I've noticed it gives you a little bit better words. Makes you sound much smarter, too, which you and I could both use.
Does it edit podcasts?
I don't think so.
I'm just kidding, Danny. I know you can hear me back there. I like your work way better. Is ChatGPT the only one you use?
I've used Motion AI. I've used Read AI. There was another one that I was using for a while that would be on a Zoom call when I was on Zoom calls constantly. I was getting tired of taking notes, so I'd have this AI bot join the Zoom call, listen to the call, and then give me a report about what happened in the call afterwards. It's pretty spot on.
That's insane.
But yeah, I've used a few different versions of different AIs, but Chat seems to be like the predominant one. Microsoft just came out with Copilot. Google, I don't know if you've noticed when you now type in a Google search, the first thing that comes up in the paragraph, that's all AI driven. And it takes all the Google results and compiles it into like a paragraph of information. Mm-hmm. it's going to be the next thing. So I think it would behoove a lot of people to start at least understanding it and then see what they can do with it. I mean, I've taken a lease and a letter of intent. And the letter of intent is a non-binding agreement between a landlord and a tenant. I've taken both of those and thrown it into ChatGPT, and I've asked it if it can tell me if they match, all the business terms match. And it will give me an entire document. This matches, this doesn't match. This matches in theory, but it doesn't match exactly. So before I could take a lease and a letter of intent, and I might be reading a 60-page lease, it might take me an hour to compare the two documents. AI does it in 30 seconds.
That's crazy.
It's not perfect. It's certainly not perfect. I still need to go spot check some things, make sure it's accurate. But for the most part,
can handle some of the mundane things.
It can handle the intense reading. It can handle anything word driven. It can do a really good job with it.
So change course here. What's the future for you? Where do you see yourself in the next 10, 15 years? Are you going to stick with Vanguard?
Yeah, I'm committed to my firm. I love the people that I work with. We are really a team. We work as a team. We play as a team. I mean, we go out to dinners. We go out to breakfasts. We go out to lunches together. We're constantly trying to help one another. So I don't foresee a change in the near future unless people decide to leave and I'm stuck holding the bag. But I don't foresee that happening right now. I see myself getting more into the development aspect. I see myself getting more into the real estate investment for myself. As a 1099 contractor, I don't have a retirement per se. So real estate holdings will be my retirement. I just am getting there.
Is that how most real estate companies are structured? Are there employees, 1099 employees?
Yeah. So most real estate agents do not receive a salary. And like the worst thing you can do to a real estate agent is to just call them and completely just kick tires, because we don't make a paycheck unless a deal gets done. Doesn't mean that we're not willing to help people find information out so they can make an informed decision whether or not to make a deal. It just, if you have no intent of actually ever doing anything, it doesn't make sense to waste somebody else's time. We pay for everything ourselves. We are our own boss, which is great, but we also have the firm that helps us with the marketing and the background stuff and some of the technology and all of that.
You've got a parent standing above you, kind of helping you a little bit.
You've got somebody holding your hand. You're never by yourself. You can ask them any question. I mean, my two principal brokers are phenomenal. Barry and Ken, both, they've been in the industry for 30 plus years. They just got the Albany Business Review Power 50 Duo.
Really?
Yeah, they're great guys that have a ton of experience and a ton of knowledge. When going back to your creativity, these guys are brilliant when it comes to structuring a real estate deal and really trying to figure out a way to bring two parties that want different things together.
So if somebody's looking for a commercial real estate agent, what separates you from some of the other guys out there and girls?
You mean other than being good looking?
We know you don't have that as an advantage. So what do you use? What's up your sleeve?
So I'm creative. I'm fun. I'm passionate about what I do. I understand the trends that are going on in the industry. I understand the different markets that I serve. I travel the state. I understand what's going on in the North Country. I understand what's going on in Albany. I might not know every real estate deal going on, but I do have a good firm grasp of different markets within at least the eastern part of New York State and some of Western.
So what's your greatest differentiator, though? I mean, every agent's going to say the same thing.
It's the backing that I have of me. My firm, the guys that work in it. I have a former McDonald's real estate rep. McDonald's real estate reps are historically some of the best market analyzers in the entire industry. McDonald's does a phenomenal job. They're really a big real estate company 100%. That sells hamburgers.
Yeah.
And these guys, I have one of them. I have Barry and Ken, who's also, I mean, they have so much wealth of information and knowledge. I have a great backing. And I align myself with people that I have a home builder. I have a banker. I have people that I really, really trust and know that will be able to help me and my client succeed.
Cool. So we are just about out of time, believe it or not. I could go for another hour with you, but I want to do a couple lightning questions before we're done.
All right.
Try and answer them as quick as possible.
Oh, God.
This is something new we've done on the past couple episodes. So, favorite golf club in your bag?
My 4 hybrid.
I'm speechless. Go-to post-round drink?
Miller Lite.
Most beautiful property you've sold?
Property I sold just recently up in Ticonderoga.
What was it?
It was a medical building. It wasn't that the building was beautiful, but just everything around it was gorgeous.
Very cool. Dream foursome for golf?
Ooh, you are definitely in it.
Oh,
are we playing a scramble or is it just every man for himself?
Scramble.
Okay, scramble. It's got to be me, you. I got to say, I think I'd probably put Barry Feynman, one of my principal brokers, in it. And probably my stepfather. My stepfather.
Oh, Judd's going to be furious.
I know. Judd can't putt. Judd can't chip. I love him, but he can't.
Oh, that's funny. Real estate or golf? Which is more frustrating?
Oh, God. It depends on what I'm doing. The most frustrating is doing real estate while I'm playing golf.
That's not a correct. Real estate or golf? One or the other. Come on.
Golf is probably more frustrating.
Okay.
Because my capabilities far surpass what actually ends up coming on the scorecard.
Fair enough. Last question. Best advice you've ever received?
Ooh, the best advice that I've ever received. Keep your head down and swing through the ball.
Got it. Love it. How can people get a hold of you?
You can call my cell phone at 518-810-4203. Or I'm on...
He is married, by the way.
Oh, I am, yeah. To a beautiful woman, Sheena, and I have 2 beautiful children, Sienna and Harper.
Twins, right?
Twins, 6 years old. They're awesome. Or you can email me at cfarrell, Farrell, at vanguardfine.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. We're going to put your email in the sub comments. And,
awesome.
Hey, if you guys are liking what you're seeing, make sure to like, subscribe, smash that share button. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all your major providers. I'm your host, Scott Raffensperger. With me again is Chris Farrell. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming on.
Scott,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.